Wade slid the paper across his desk like he was handing me a gift, not gutting my livelihood. Effective immediately, he said, leaning back in his fake leather chair like he owned the damn world. 50% reduction across the board. Gotta tighten up, Delia. Everyone's feeling it. I didn't say a word, just picked up the sheet and scanned the numbers. My salary, slashed clean in half. No warning, no discussion. 9 years running this place like my life depended on it, and I got blindsided with a spreadsheet and a smirk. Wade folded his arms. Still a good chunk of change. And hey, family sticks together, right? Quick note, before we go any further, where are you joining from today? Tell us your city or country in the comments. I met his eyes. He was waiting for me to snap, to cry, to beg. I'd done it all before, picked up the pieces after his screw-ups, patched vendor relationships, soothed pissed-off customers. He knew I held the place together, and he thought that meant I'd never walk. I didn't give him the satisfaction. I just nodded once and set the paper down. Got it, I said. His grin slipped a little. That's it? He asked. Yup. He watched me for another beat, then gave a lazy shrug and turned to his monitor like we were done. Like cutting someone's pay in half wasn't supposed to wreck their month. What he didn't know, what I wasn't stupid enough to say in that moment, was that this little stunt had made my decision easy. 2 weeks ago, I'd met with Bryn Ramsey, VP of Horizon Auto Group. She'd offered me a leadership role, equity, full autonomy, the works. I hadn't said yes yet, but now, Wade had just handed me the answer on a budget printout. I stood up, slid the paper back toward him. Thanks for the update. He looked up, confused. You're not mad? I don't waste energy on things that don't make sense, I said, and I walked out of his office, not a flicker of emotion on my face, but inside, I was already gone. I walked straight past the showroom floor and into the break room. Didn't say a word to anyone. Sat down at the table with my laptop, opened it, and started pulling up vendor files. Emails, contracts, renewal dates. I already had it all, but now I was making clean backups, my own copies, organized folders. No way I'd leave the keys to the kingdom behind. Wade probably thought I was just cooling off. That's what he told our sales manager when I skipped the afternoon check-in. I heard him through the glass. She'll be fine, he said. Delia's just gotta blow off some steam. She knows we need her. He had no idea how many times I'd swallowed garbage just to keep this place standing. 9 years of plugging every leak while he played golf, hosted dumb radio events, and posted selfies at car shows. Meanwhile, I was handling payroll, negotiating vendor contracts, scheduling deliveries, chasing down parts orders, calming irate fleet managers when Wade forgot to call them back. Now I was done patching holes. I was building my own boat. That evening, I stayed late. Said I was reorganizing the back office. Nobody questioned it. I copied down all key renewal dates, tow companies, signage crews, oil drum vendors, even the HVAC maintenance guys. I flagged everything set to expire in the next 6 months. That list was mine now. Next morning, I walked in early and brewed the coffee like always, smiled at the receptionist, logged in like nothing had changed. But at 10:43 a.m., I opened a new browser tab, clicked into my personal Gmail, and emailed Bryn Ramsey. Subject, ready to make the move body. Let's talk next steps. I'm in. I hit send and stared at the screen for a second. Not nervous, just steady. Then I opened Word, typed out a clean 2-paragraph resignation letter, and printed it. When I walked into Wade's office, he didn't even look up. What's up? He asked, still typing something. I dropped the letter on his desk. That's my notice. He glanced at it, read the header, then leaned back in his chair with that same cocky smirk. 2 weeks, huh? He said. All right, we'll manage. No questions, no fight, just pure arrogance. You sure? I asked. This place runs on a lot more than coffee and pep talks. He shrugged. You've trained the team. They'll step up. I almost laughed. The team didn't even know where half the vendor accounts were stored. Wade thought the front desk girl could pick up invoicing in a weekend. Cool, I said. Good luck with that. He didn't respond, just went back to his screen. I walked out, shut the door, and opened my calendar. 2 weeks. That's all I owed him now. The first Monday of my final 2 weeks, I showed up early like always. Punched in, opened the daily operations log. No drama, no slacking. I still ran things, just without a safety net. Nobody asked me to train a replacement because there wasn't one. Wade didn't even bring it up. Maybe he thought someone could just figure it out. That's the kind of thinking that kept the place duct taped together. I didn't offer to teach anything either. I wasn't being petty. I was being honest. No one on that team had ever asked how the back end ran. They were used to me catching every mistake before it hit the floor. So instead, I spent those days cleaning up. Not physically, though I did clear out my desk, but I mean systematically. I closed out all open work orders, updated the inventory log, finalized parts shipments, and left a folder labeled Renewals, 90 days on the shared drive. If they used it, great. If not, that was their mess to manage. By Wednesday, the outside world had started to notice. Delia, hey, is it true? It was Glenn from Big Hall Towing. You leaving? Yep. End of next week, I told him. Damn, who's taking over your side? Not sure. They haven't said. Silence. Then, so who do I call when they miss the next tire haul? Can't help you there, Glenn. Thursday, it was Erica from the detailing crew. Wait, seriously? You're not going to be here next month for the quarterly wipe downs? Nope, she sighed. We only kept the account because of you. Wade never even learned my name. Then came the clients, actual customers calling the office asking for me by name. Can I speak with Cordelia? She's out, someone said once. Another time. I think she's switching departments? Wade didn't correct them. Probably figured it'd blow over. The front office kept knocking on my door every half hour with questions. How do we resend invoices from the old system? Where are the graphics for the fleet orders? Do we have a contact for the sign guy? Ours bounced. I answered what I felt like. The rest I let them dig for. It wasn't spite. It was the cost of never asking before. On the last Friday, I wore jeans. Nobody said anything, not even Wade. I cleared out my drawer, shut down my computer, and wiped the desktop. Tossed the dead pens, stacked the paperwork, and left one single sticky note on the monitor. All files saved to shared greater than ops, greater than 2025 archive. Good luck. At 4:58, I stood up. Took one last look around, phones ringing, printer jamming, someone on hold asking for Delia, the one who knows what she's doing. I grabbed my keys, slung my purse over my shoulder, and walked to the door. Wade walked by with a drink in hand. You heading out? I nodded. Clock says 5. All right, take care. I didn't answer, just pulled the glass door open, stepped into the August heat, and let it close behind me. By Tuesday morning, my phone started buzzing like crazy. First, it was Marvin from Red River Trucking. Hey, Delia, you guys forget about our alignment appointments? Had 4 trucks sit all morning. I'm no longer with the company, I said. He paused. Oh, damn. That explains it. I heard him sigh, then hang up without another word. By Wednesday, it was chaos. Missed appointments, wrong invoices, parts showing up that hadn't been ordered. People were scrambling. I wasn't there to reroute deliveries or talk down angry customers. Wade had stepped in, but he didn't know a damn thing about vendor codes or service priority lists. All he knew how to do was charm people over lunch. It didn't work this time. Around noon, Bryn walked into my new office and handed me a fresh mug of coffee. You're popular, she said, nodding at my phone. I glanced at the screen. 4 missed calls, 3 voicemails, all from numbers I recognized. Not my circus, I said. 10 minutes later, I answered one. Cordelia, said the voice, low and tight. It's Brett from Colonial Fleet. We just pulled our order. That one hit. I knew how much money was riding on that deal. Sorry to hear that. I don't know what's going on over there. We submitted the VIN list twice and got back the wrong specs. No follow-up, no one answering direct lines. Wade finally called, but we're moving on. I understand. You with a new outfit? I am. You taking orders yet? I smiled. Soon. By Thursday, it was nonstop. Vendors, clients, even 2 former employees messaging me on LinkedIn with questions about systems, passwords, contracts. I didn't answer the ones that sounded like panic. That wasn't my problem anymore. But when Jeff from Clean Edge Signage called, I picked up. Cordelia, listen, nobody's replying to the art proofs we sent last week. Are we still doing the banner refresh? I wouldn't know. You not running ops? Not anymore. A pause. You with someone else now? Yeah. Another pause. Then, you guys need a signage vendor? I kept my voice calm. We might. Let me know. Wade's a pain in the ass anyway. Calls like that kept coming. Tom from Big Rig Service. Shauna from the upholstery vendor. Even Ron from the after-hours tow crew. Gruff as hell. Barely ever spoke unless there was a fire. Called just to ask, you still in the game? Every time I told them yes, I could feel something shift. Nobody asked why I left. They already knew. On Friday, I pulled into my new lot a few minutes early. The morning sun hit the new signage just right. Clean lines, no drama. I stepped inside and checked the voicemail. 3 more messages. All versions of the same thing. Hey, Cordelia, what's going on over there? I didn't answer with bitterness or sarcasm, just the truth. I'm no longer with the company. That was it. And if they asked what I was doing now, I told them, I'm building something better. By the end of week 3, I had my new team firing on all cylinders. 5 bays running smooth, check-in times under 10 minutes, customer follow-ups logged daily, no paperwork pileups. I'd spent years cleaning up someone else's mess. This time, I built from the ground up. We set up a Dropbox for fleet clients, made Saturday hours for rural haulers, and rolled out a scheduling system that actually worked. Bryn gave me space, trusted me to run it like I owned it. Then the phone started ringing again, only this time it was for business. Hey, is this Cordelia? This is Troy from Midwest Hall. You did our fleet inspections last year? Sure did, I said. What can I help with? Well, we're looking to schedule our quarterly. Heard you're with a new shop now? You taking appointments? Absolutely. That was the first. Then came the Cross County Sheriff's Department, then a regional delivery company. None of them said Wade's name. None of them needed to. They weren't leaving him because of me. They were leaving because competence mattered more than loyalty, and I was the one who delivered. One afternoon, I got a voicemail from Roger at Metro Graphics. Hey, Cordelia, just a heads up. Wade called about an overdue invoice, said we were late on payments. I reminded him we billed on time, every time. He got snippy, told me we were lucky to still have the account. So, if your new place needs signage, we're open. I didn't even have to call them back. I just forwarded the message to our new marketing guy with a note. Use these guys. They know what they're doing. 2 days later, my inbox lit up again, this time from people I used to work with. Subject, checking in. From Leah Myers. Hey, I heard through the grapevine you're doing big things. Any openings over there? I'm tired of covering for people who don't know what a PO looks like. Then there was David, one of the old service writers. Wade's got me training someone who thinks VIN stands for Vehicle Internal Number. I'm dying. Please tell me there's room for one more. Then Sarah, quiet, solid, handled all the back-end financing. I miss working somewhere that makes sense. Do you need someone on the admin side? I read those emails during my lunch break, leaning back in my chair while the shop hummed behind me. I didn't respond right away. I needed to be sure I could bring them in the right way. No drama, no panic hires. But the fact they were reaching out? That said everything. Late that week, my office phone rang. Unknown number. Cordelia speaking. You've got some nerve. Wade. You poached our entire B2B list. I didn't even flinch. Nope. People called me. Bull. That's confidential client data. They're not data. They're relationships. You lost them when you stopped showing up. He got quiet for a second. Then, you think you're better than me now? I didn't answer. I just hung up. Bryn walked by my door a few minutes later, saw the look on my face, and raised an eyebrow. Problem? Nope, I said, smiling. Just confirmation. 3 days after that call, Wade had his lawyer send me a cease and desist. The subject line read, Notice of Non-Compete Violation. I laughed out loud. There was no non-compete. We'd never signed anything. I sent it straight to Bryn. She barely skimmed it before sliding it into the trash folder. Empty threats, she said. He's trying to scare you because he's bleeding. She wasn't wrong. The next morning, David, one of the service guys who'd emailed me, sent over a screenshot from the dealership scheduling system. 8 appointments canceled in 1 day. 3 refund requests. Then Leah texted. 2 more accounts just pulled their detailing packages. Wade's freaking out. Told us not to answer any questions from clients unless cleared by him personally. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Wade had built a house of cards and assumed I'd never stop holding it up. By the end of the week, Bryn and I officially brought Leah, David, and Sarah onto the payroll. All 3 gave proper notice. No drama, no secrecy. Just clean, professional exits. Exactly the way Wade never handled anything. We didn't even announce their arrival. They showed up, got to work, and immediately fixed gaps I hadn't gotten to yet. Within 3 days, Sarah had restructured our vendor payment calendar. David took over fleet intake. Leah streamlined our customer check-ins, and the numbers started climbing. Wade's dealership, meanwhile, was unraveling in real time. Glenn from Big Hall called me one morning. Heard the old man retired, he said. What? Yeah. Wade's dad stepped down last night, quietly. No press, no party, no nothing. Word is, he's pissed about how fast things went downhill. I didn't celebrate. I didn't feel sorry either. I just said, thanks for the heads up. That same afternoon, I got a call from Colonial Fleet again. Brett, you guys got room this month? He asked. We're pulling out of Fletcher's. Service quality tanked. I can make space, I said. He didn't even ask for a quote. Just sent over the new order form within the hour. Our Bay team had it processed by the end of the day. That marked the 5th client we'd picked up from Wade's mess, without ever making a single sales call. 2 weeks later, Bryn came into my office holding a fresh report. She dropped it on my desk. Tripled. I flipped through the numbers. She was right. In 60 days, we'd tripled the franchise location's revenue. Clean growth, no debt, no fake volume. Just real business moving through real systems. She grinned. Remind me never to underestimate you. Only takes once. The convention center smelled like stale coffee and printed brochures. I'd just wrapped a session on fleet intake strategies when I spotted Bryn near the vendor booths, deep in conversation with a parts supplier. I was halfway across the room when I saw him. Wade. He looked like someone had wrung him out. Wrinkled shirt, red around the eyes, tie hanging loose like he gave up halfway through getting dressed. I almost kept walking, but he stepped in front of me. We need to talk, he said. His voice was loud enough to turn a few heads. I didn't flinch. I doubt that. He crossed his arms. You think you're clever? Walking away and letting everything fall apart? I didn't respond. You sabotaged me, he snapped. You planned this the whole time. I looked him dead in the eye. I didn't sabotage anything. I just stopped fixing it. A couple people nearby glanced over, pretending not to listen. One guy from the regional sales board raised an eyebrow. Wade's jaw clenched. You think you're better than the rest of us now? Number I just work harder. That's the difference. You stole my team. They came to me. You stole my clients. They left you. His face went red. For a second, I thought he might lose it right there in the middle of the expo hall. But he didn't. He just stood there, breathing hard, trying to come up with something that would make him feel like he still had some control. He didn't. I turned my head and spotted Bryn waving me over. She had a smile on her face and a supplier contact standing beside her, someone we'd been trying to lock down for months. I looked back at Wade. This is your moment to walk away with whatever dignity you've got left. He didn't move, so I did. I turned and crossed the floor without another word. Didn't rush, didn't look back. I reached Bryn and the supplier, shook the guy's hand, and jumped right into the conversation. Behind me, Wade was still standing there, alone. 2 months after the convention, I got a voicemail from an unfamiliar number out of Chicago. I was knee-deep in payroll reviews and almost deleted it without listening. Glad I didn't. Hi, Cordelia. My name's Grant Lorman. I'm a managing director with High Ridge Group. We acquire underperforming auto dealerships across the Midwest. One of our partners mentioned your name. Said you're the reason Horizon's footprint exploded in Arkansas. I'd love to connect. I called him back the next morning. Grant was polished, quick-talking, confident. The kind of guy who didn't waste time with fluff. We're building out a new internal turnaround team, he said. You'd have full operational control of the rebuilds, direct authority. We'd structure it with equity potential, performance bonuses, and a base of $400K that stopped me cold. I assume I'd be working remotely? For most of it, site travel is needed. We've got 6 locations in early acquisition stages. One of them, actually, you're already familiar with. I leaned back in my chair. Where? Fletcher Auto in Saline County. I didn't answer right away. We just closed the deal last week, he went on. They're in worse shape than we expected. The manager's name is Wade Fletcher. Any chance that's... My cousin, I said. Ah, he replied like he'd stepped on a landmine. Well, that explains some things. Let me guess, I said. Bad records, missing vendors, no succession plan. Basically a black hole. And the previous owner, Wade's father, he left in the middle of due diligence. We'd like you to step in and handle the rebuild from top to bottom. That includes personnel. We'd want your input on who stays, who doesn't. I didn't say no. Not yet. I told him I'd think on it. Later that afternoon, I walked into Bryn's office and closed the door. They want me to fix Fletcher Auto, I said. She didn't look surprised. That mess finally got bought? Yeah, High Ridge wants me to take it over. For how much? 400 base plus performance bonuses. She whistled. That's serious money. I nodded. But they want me to decide if Wade stays. Bryn set her pen down. So you'd be his boss? Technically. Don't do it, she said, no hesitation. I looked at her. You built something clean, she said. Don't drag yourself back into his mess. You're not here to fix his failures. You're here because you chose to build. I didn't answer right away, just stood there chewing on it. She was right. That night, I drafted an email to Grant. Subject, offer. High Ridge Group. Body, I appreciate the generous offer and I'm honored by the trust, but I'm not interested in spending my energy cleaning up after incompetence. I've moved on, for good. I hit send. Didn't second guess it. Didn't feel like a missed opportunity. Felt like a boundary I should have drawn years ago. 6 months later, I cut the ribbon on our second location with Bryn standing beside me. Bigger shop, more bays, a service wing built for fleet trucks. We opened with a full staff and a waitlist already booked 3 weeks out. That same week, Horizon Auto named us top regional dealership for customer satisfaction. Out of 93 locations, we didn't advertise it, didn't need to. Word got around. A week after that, I got the email from the National Summit Committee. They were asking me to speak on operational excellence. 20 minutes, keynote slot, all expenses paid. I didn't hesitate. I said yes. The conference center was packed. Rows of folding chairs, banners lining the walls, vendors passing out stress balls and clipboards. I was backstage, running through my notes, when Bryn walked up and handed me a bottle of water. You good? Always. I stepped out when they called my name. Lights were hot, applause hit like a wall. I took the stage calm, clear, steady. And that's when I saw him. 4th row, left side. Wade. He looked smaller than I remembered. No entourage, no clipboard, no camera crew. Just a folding chair and a blank stare. I didn't flinch. I wasn't up there for him. I spoke about systems, processes, why respect inside an operation matters more than hype. I talked about retention, vendor trust, and showing up even when nobody's watching. The crowd stayed locked in the whole time. At the end, I stepped away from the mic, took one last look around, and gave them this. When you stop shrinking to fit someone's expectations, you finally start growing into your own. And the applause that followed? That wasn't for revenge. That was for walking out when it counted and never looking back.